Hello my crafty friends, and welcome to my channel Corrine Crafts. I hope you are well, and I hope you've been enjoying all the tutorials and that you've been getting lots of crafty time in and making lots of lovely things. Now, what have we got? We've got a gorgeous card today. Look at that. It's hexagons. You always go mad when I do hexagon cards. You love this. We've created a lovely inky background. We've cut some hexagons. We've done some embossing. We've got some pattern paper. I've done a hexagon shaker. I've done a hexagon recessed area with my sentiment in. A couple of little gems, all to match. Isn't that absolutely... Oh, there you go. Look at that. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? Now, if you want to see how that's done, keep watching, but don't forget to subscribe for lots of crafty inspiration. Let's go see how this is made. So I thought I would start with a little bit of mixed media techniques first on this card, because you all seem to enjoy it when we have a little bit of mixed media. So let's do some inking. So remember, every time you do this, it's going to come out differently. So the first thing I do, I've got a nice piece of watercolour card, 4.5 inches wide, 6.5 inches tall. It can be whatever size you want. I'm just going to give it a little bit of wet because I just find it helps a little bit. And then once we've done that, I'm just going to blot it with a piece of kitchen roll or paper towel. I've got to put my paper towel ready, so pop that over there. I don't want it too wet, I just want it a little bit damp. So there we go, get a spare piece. Okay, so just blot that off. So it's just damp. Just means, I find it means that it carries better. So I'm going to put that to one side, and we're going to start with my palest colour. So I've got two colours. I've got orange and honey pot. I could have done with a pinky colour as well, but I thought I'll do it with these two. So let's put the yellow down first, which is the honey pot. I tend to start with my lightest first. Spritz it, tap it with your water, it's entirely up to you, and then I'm just going to randomly pick up some of that ink. So remember, every time you do this, it'll come out slightly different. I know I wanted it pale, but that is very pale, so let's just put on a little bit more water, because you can just keep going in and picking it up. Okay, so let's just leave that for a minute like that. So now I don't want to add my orange straight away, because if I do, it'll just all merge together. So I'm just going to quickly dry this. I'll be right back in a minute. I know I've got a little bit left, but it's a little bit of wetness left, but at this point we don't have to dry it too hard. So then I'm going to come in with my orange, which is already marking, the little sponge is already marking my mat, but never mind. Put that down. Oh, that might be a lot. Actually, I might just pick a bit of that up because it's a lot. There we go. And then we can just wet that. Might put a bit of water on that because that's quite a lot. So you can just dilute it down as much as you want. I think I need clean water. Getting a little bit murky. And then I'm going to pick up some of the orange, and you can move it around and swirl it. I think that'll do, actually. Let me just... because you can have as much or as little as you want. So I'm going to give that a quick dry. I'm not going to pick that up for a minute, but I'm going to just give this a dry. Okay, so you can see that the yellow's going a bit darker because I've just picked up a little bit more yellow. But that's absolutely fine. I've dried it pretty dry this time, front and back. I always dry the backs as well. Just helps flatten out. Now this is my technical spray booth, as you've seen many times before. Oh, that must have been a 4.5 by 6.5 piece as well. So going to wet my brush. I'm going to pick up some of the orange, and I'm just going to tap it all over. You can do this if not, you might just have a lightly patterned paper that you want to use. Give that a quick blast. Just a little bit. And I'm then going to pick up a little bit of the yellow, and I'm going to do the same, just to do a few yellow splats. Now, and you say, a lot of this is going to be hidden, so please don't get too hung up about it, because you're not going to see very much of this when it's actually finished. So I finished with my inky bit, so I'm just going to wipe that up, and then I'll just finish drying this, and then I'll be right back again. All right, that'll do. But I'm looking at this, I'm wondering, have I got it wrong? Which way do I prefer that to be? That looks okay. That looks okay. Now, what I would advocate perhaps at this point is maybe putting it in between your plates in your die cutting machine, and even with an extra piece of card just to help flatten it, run it through your die cutting machine, and that will flatten it out a little bit if it feels a little bit bent and cockled up. So if I've got a piece of card here that I could use, that might be a bit wide actually. So let's just trim that down. Let's just trim that. So normally you'd have the width of your metal die in. So what I'm doing is I'm just adding a little bit of extra thickness. Pop that into there. So I'm just using my manual machine at the moment. I'm just going to run that through. It's not going to, I've not done it so that it's going to take all the life and character out of the card. All I've done is I'm just trying to bring it back to flat again. Let's put that up there. And then if we open this up, there you go. Can you see? Look, straight away, this looks a lot flatter. Okay, so we're going to work with hexagons. You can work with circles, you can work with squares, you can work with triangles. I just know whenever I do a card with hexagons, you absolutely love them. So I've got two quite small ones, and one's going to be my aperture, but I just need that one for make a frame. So what you need to do is you need to just cut them, one like that, and then another one. I'll cut one and just to show you. So I'm going to put one just, no, my apertures, I want to use the smaller one. Think it through, Corrine. I nearly got the wrong one cut, because I'll show you why in just a minute. So I'm going to put that on there. Then I'm going to get my my plate, my die cutter machine, put those through, and then run that through there. And I'll show you why I've gone with the smaller one. That's gone through there. I can feel that. I couldn't do that in my mini machine because obviously you can only do 3-inch wide, even though the die is tiny. My card isn't, and that's what I always say. It's not about how small or big the die is, it's about the size of the piece of card. Right, so I've got that. What I have already done is, this is watercolour card. What I've actually done is, out of the larger die, and we're going to be using the larger die in a minute, I've cut the larger one with the smaller one in the middle. So what happens now is that creates a frame on there. Now if I'd have cut the larger one, there'd be nowhere for that frame to attach to. As it is, I've got the width of that, and I can stick that on there. And I just stick that on there by getting my tweezers, turning it over, pick that without nudging the camera, getting my little detail bottle of glue. Can I just say, I have just got the precision glue gun that I have been after for ages. I've been stalking websites. It came in this week and I bought it, and I will be using it very soon. It only arrived today and I haven't had a proper look at it, but I am so excited. My precision glue gun. So that is going to be really, really exciting. I can't get the pin back in there. There we go. Right, so I'm going to do that, and I want to do it with another one up here. But what I'm also going to do is, now this is optional, I have got a hexagon stencil, and then you could be adding some texture paste. Now the only one I've got was my translucent, and I'm not happy with how it really came out. So I can see on here, look, on this one that I've prepped, it's just added an extra little hint. Can you see the hexagons there? There you go, hopefully you can see them. So on this one, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to do it with glitter paste, just to see if I can get a better effect. Or is it the stencil's not happy? I don't know. So I'm going to get a little bit. I'm going to put my stencil down. Now, am I using my stencil the right? Let's try it that way around. I'm going to put that there, and then I'm just going to pop that. I just want a few hexagons worth of like texture. And then I'm going to lift that up there. Oh, that's worked. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? Then I'm going to bring it down this end. Oh, I wish I'd done that on the other one. But no worries now. And then I can do that onto here. There we go. All I say is make sure you get your stencils into water nice and quickly. Put that over there. Put my lid back on my glitter paste nice and quickly. I don't want it to go hard. And then all I'm going to do is just make sure that's nice and edged, and get this little bit off here. I should have put that back in the jar, but I put the lid on now. Get rid of that. Okay, so make sure you clean up your tools nice and quickly. So that needs to dry a little bit, but look at that. Oh, I'm loving that with the hexagons on those corners. All right, I'm going to put that to one side for a minute. So what I'm going to show you is, using the larger of my hexagons, I'm going to cut various things. I'm going to cut some pattern paper, and I've got some more watercolour here, and then we can pop that on like that. I can cut both of those at the same time, it's not a problem. Take that. Now, will that go through my smaller die cutting machine? I think I cut this to about 3 inches wide, so it should do. Now, don't waste any bits. So I'll show you what I mean by that in a minute. So let's get that through. with the pattern paper, this is a real frugal one. So yeah, you'll love this. Look at that. I love that one. That one's good, isn't it? What you can do is, once I've cut those, what you can then do is I can then cut another one out of here. Can I get more? No, I'm just going to go that way just for a minute and cut that. Right, that way. I'm just going to trim it down a minute, make it fit through, otherwise it'll hang out. Take that. So you can use all the little scraps as well. Don't worry about only being able to get solid hexagons, and I'll show you why. So these will be just as useful. Have I done that the right way around? I think I have. Right, so you can do partial ones or solid ones as well. So there we go. So you've got full ones and there, and you want your white ones. And what I've also done, if I can find it, is I've cut some out of just a coordinating pattern paper. So these were just out of a paper pad, and if I find my paper pad, oh, it's up here, I can show you. These were just from my Caring Thoughts paper pad. So this pattern one is the middle strip from here, and then this one is that paper pad there. So you can see in here I've just used that paper, and then I've used the strip from down the middle of there. So I've got all those bits left for another project, which I think is really good. Now with these, I found in Embossing folder, you know I've been saying use what you've got. I found this from Spellbinders. I'd never used it. It is a reversible embossing folder. I didn't know these things existed. So I was looking at that, I thought it was floral, but when I opened it up, it had butterflies inside. So if you use it this way round, it's going to do flowers and butterflies. So you can see the raised and the deboss. But if I turn it over and fold it back on itself, it'll do the flowers. So that's what I want to do. But the only thing is, it's a slightly different configuration to my other one. So what I found was, if I fold that over, hold that tight. Where's that piece of card? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that piece of card in, because it wouldn't take my purple shim. I found my purple shim was too much. It didn't want to go through. So they're not quite 3D, but they're a bit more than 2D. So let's see what this is done, because on the one I practiced with, I didn't put this shim in. Oh yes, look at that. Oops, there we go. How gorgeously embossed is that? Let me just show you. But if I did it, I'm going to just do it with a scrap piece. If I turned it round and did it from that side, I've got to show you, because it's just, I have never seen a double-sided embossing folder before. What an amazing, amazing concept. Just the best idea ever, I think. Oh, I've moved my table and everything. And then, look, I've now got flowers and butterflies. How brilliant is that? I am blown away. This one's staying out. I'm not even putting that one away now. Okay, so what I need to do is, you've seen, I've got this. This is still a bit dry, and I've not cut my other hole. So I've got one that I've prepared, as you saw. I know it's not got the glitter. It's still got the embossing texture paste. It's come out as a clear one. And I'm going to pop that like that. And what we're going to do is we're going to build this up. So let's start to build this up. So what I've got 2 apertures, and I've got some nice, I've got my hexagons. I don't need that one because that's just a spare. I've got some of my hexagons here, and I've already put really thin foam pads on the back. If you're at all unsure, just get your glue and add that on as well. So what I'm going to do is I can use, remember I showed you I had bits that come off the edge of your card if you think you've nearly used it up. I'm going to pop that one just there. Now I'm not butting them up to each other. I want a little bit of a gap. So I'm going to take this one next. And then I'm going to go, I can't remember how I did my pattern. I got a really good pattern going. So I'm going to put this one here. Oh, so it runs over that texture paste. Now if I've got this right, that should be in a nice straight line. This is why I put it on with a bit of glue as well, so I could lift them and make sure, oops, I'm dropping it. I've got a straight line. I'm going to bring this up a little bit so you can see. You see, so those run in a nice straight line. Let me just do some placements, otherwise I'm going to
tie myself up in knots. So I've got some with the flowers. I'm actually going to use that one because I think that one's come out much, much better. Let's see if I can get that off. I can't remember where I put everything. So I put one like that. I've got to try and remember. One like that. So we're starting to come down. Then I went, what did I do next? I put, have I not got another one with? I could put that one there. And I could put, yeah, I could put that one there, like that. That looks nice, doesn't it? I like that. Right, so I can stick them down now. I just couldn't remember what order I'd placed. I'd done a load of placing earlier, and now I'd forgotten what I'd decided. So we can put these on here. So do you see, at the edges, I've run over the edge. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn it over in a minute, and we're going to trim them down. So line that one up. I just love it with having the frames around there. I just think it looks so much better. And then that's a lovely emboss. But I've stuck with watercolour card all the way through on this project because I just wanted it to look better. So I'm trying to make sure everything, there's no foam pad on that, but there is on that one, so I'll use that one and trim it down in a minute. Let's put that one just there. And this might be my last one. Just put a little bit of glue on here. And then we're going to put that one on there like that. Okay, so you can see, so I've got some gaps, but they are quite deliberate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over. Don't worry that that's wonky because it won't be in a minute. I'm going to get my largest scissors and I'm going to put my scissors against the edge of the card. Now you could go and use your paper trimmer, but I thought if I use my paper trimmer, it's going to struggle because I've got foam pads. So I just thought scissors are going to do it much neater. And I'm not trimming anything off the card, but I'm using the card as like a bumper bar. And then that now runs perfectly up to the edge. You can't undercut, you can't overcut because you're using the card as a bumper. So what am I going to do? Why have I cut holes? I'll show you why I've cut holes. So the first hole is going to have a shaker element. What I'll try and do is I'll see if I can link back to the video where I showed you how I make my little shaker elements all separately, because that's how I like to do it. And that's going to go, now, is it going to go in that one? Or is it going to go in that one? I think it's going to go in that one. So that's going to go up there. So I put foam tape on the back just to speed up because you don't need to see it. So it's the same foam tape in here as it is on the back of there. And then I've just put some red liner on here. Now I always like to do my little shakers like this because then you've got your sequins running against two lots of acetate, so it just makes it so much easier. So I've just got to make sure that the foam's not showing, and that clearly isn't, and it's also holding the sequence from going too far down, so that even if you tap it, there are still some showing. Now the only other thing I wanted to do was I wanted to put a piece of white behind there because I'm going to be using a coloured background and I didn't want the colour of the background to show through. So I've just got a scrap of card, just a scrap, and I'm just going to pop it over there so that when I turn that over, can you see it's white on the background? So through here, what do I need? I need a sentiment, and I'm just going to put my sentiment through there. So my sentiment at the moment is a little bit too big, so I'm going to just trim it down just a bit. Let's just trim it down like that. I'm going to trim a little bit off the bottom. I don't think I need to, but I'm going to trim a little bit off the bottom. And I don't want it to be up close. I want that to be at the bottom just there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the rest of my layers and I'll sort that one out in a minute. I could have stamped through, but then it gets really complicated. If you do it all with separate pieces, life is so much easier. So I just was at my paper stash and I found this, which I thought went really well with these colours. So let's pop that on first. Ooh. There we go. Open up the glue. Not been open for a couple of days. Clearly from the Sunflower collection. But it's the B-side. Sometimes the B-sides are absolutely perfect for what you want to do. I must have been doing something with this because the next layer I think is also from the sunflower collection. I've just got some yellow. Now, I have really gone off pattern and plain like that. What I like to do is put the very thin sandwich of white in between. So I'm going to do that now. I'm just making sure to see which way I've cut it, because you can feel the edges when you cut. I think it's this way. So I'm going to pop this on, still using my all-purpose glue. That's the word I was looking for. And that's going to go on there. Now, if you wanted to, you could have gutted the card underneath. So I've just got a little bit showing, 1/8 of an inch difference between these. Then I'm going to go with my yellow. So this is textured, so I'm going to make sure I put the glue on the back all the way around. And to me, that just makes it look so much more professional to have that white border around your yellow. Just, to me, just lifts it and looks so much better. Okay, so what I need now is I need to put some wet glue on the back of here, but not going to turn it over just yet. Put that in there. I'm also going to take the back of the foam tape. I'm not even going to bother taking the backs off that foam tape. I don't need to. They're just there to stop it from sagging. So that's going to go like that. Just remember, no one can see what is inside your card or the mats and layers. It's the mystique. Now, I don't know where my foam tape's been, but it wasn't uber sticky, so I'm just putting a little bit more on, and I'm just putting a little bit on there as well. Actually, I've just changed my mind. I am going to take that one off because that might help me to capture my sentiment. After putting the glue on, I've changed my mind how to stick it down. I want to do it a different way. I'm going to get another piece of foam tape and I'm going to pop it really close to this side. You can see I'm thinking of this as I go along. Pop that there. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to do it in the air because I've just put some glue on. So the card's going this way up. I'm going to get this. I'm going to get really mucky fingers now. And I'm going to pop that through the aperture straight if I can. Come down. Does that look straight and centered? Hope so. Oh, I'm dripping glue. There we go, that'll do. Right, I've just got to clean this glue off my hands. So that looks like an unholy mess, isn't it? But don't worry, no one is going to see that. So it goes my card base. I'm going to turn that one to there. And then once I'm happy with where it is, because remember I put a bit of glue on, so I've got wriggle room. I'm just going to press that down. Now, can you see? I didn't want the yellow showing through. Now, you might want the yellow showing through. I didn't. I thought it might be a little bit clashy. I've got a little bit of glue on there. Glue eraser. That's just going to rub that residue off. Oh, I might need to wait for that bit to dry. But, oh, yeah, it's come off, look. There we go. Clever things, these glue erasers. There we go. Make sure that's... just going to lift it up. It could do with going up a little bit. There we go. Have I gone up too much? Not at all. Perfect. Right, now I've got little bits of gaps. So what I have done is I've cut myself a butterfly and I've also got some gems. I thought my butterfly had flown away. So I'm going to pop my butterfly across here. So I could have put it on there, but I'm going to put it on there just because I think it's going to look better on a pattern paper. And I've also put my tweezers down. I'm putting everything down tonight. So that's going to go like that. Could put a little bow there, actually. That would look nice. But I've just got some gems from out of one of my craft kits. And there's not many of this size left. So I'm going to go a little one of those. And one of those just there. Then I can do a yellow. I think that would look nice. I could do that one and that one, and I'm going to do another one. I'm going to do it in the yellow because I've got simply because I've got more yellows, and I'm going to go one. People are going to look and say, oh, I wonder if there's a reason why she did 2 sets of yellows and 1 set of orange. Yes, there is a reason, because the orange had nearly run out. And it's as simple as that. There we go. Isn't that pretty? I love that. So I've got my hexagon. I'm just press that down because it's just lifting a little bit. I've got my hexagon aperture. I've got my hexagons on here. I've got my lovely little butterfly, but I've created a gorgeous little shaker through there. I've got my aperture through there. Now, if you wanted to, you could put acetate over there so it shines, but I wanted the different textures. So I've got texture paste to put at the top, which has got a bit of glitter because I was trying to redo it and it didn't work. I've got my hexagons coming down off the edge of the page. I've got an embossed one, 2 pattern ones, 3 of the plain ones. It's about 2 really, isn't it? And there, I think that is gorgeous. We've mixed all of our techniques, all of our different textures up. What a gorgeous little card, and I hope you enjoyed how I made that. So I'll just lift it up so you can see it. Okay, so thank you for watching that, and as always, thank you so much for all of your support. Please don't forget to click on the links in the description down below. Really appreciate all your support, and yes, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any of the tutorials. So until next time, happy crafting, my friends. I can't wait to see you next week. I'm not sure what we've got planned, but I'm sure it'll be good. So please come back and watch my videos next week. Until then, bye for now.